What's up guys, Steven here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm really excited because I can finally share my in-depth review of the HUAWEI Pura 70 Ultra with you guys. It doesn't only have the best camera in a smartphone to date, also according to DX0 Mark, it also features several other surprises. And one of them is about the Google topic on Huawei smartphones, and there is a big change. So I don't want to talk too much, let's have a closer look and let's check it out.
A new era with a new name. The P series name has changed to Pura, but the purpose remains the same, providing the best smartphone photography. But before we check out the camera performance, let's sum up what's new. The Pura 70 Ultra packs a large 6.8-inch LTPO OLED screen with 1260p resolution, 1440Hz PWM dimming and 120Hz refresh rate. Underneath is the Kirin 9010 chipset, 16GB of RAM, 512GB of ROM for the global version, a massive 5200 mAh battery capable of 100W wired and 80W wireless charging, plus 20W reverse wireless charging. In real-life scenarios, it charges from 0 to 40% in around 15 minutes, and a full charge was for me around 50 minutes. The Pura 70 Ultra is the flagship model of the Pura 70 series and has two exclusive features over the rest of Pura 70 smartphones. Now first, the 1-inch sensor for the main camera, a higher res telephoto and ultra-wide camera, and second, crystal armor Kunlun glass for the screen. Now the screen is fantastic, it's very bright, 10-bit color depth, 120Hz support, HDR capable and great viewing angles. And it is protected by a special version of Kunlun glass called Crystal Armor, which is made of a highly transparent amorphous diamond carbon material. It is 300% tougher than regular Kunlun glass and should offer unmatched scratch resistance. On the Pura 70 Ultra there are three high-end cameras here. A 1-inch retractable 50MP primary, a 40MP ultra-wide and the telephoto 50MP zoom camera. The laser emitter and receiver for autofocus and depth detection purposes is located in a small black surface around the lens for the zoom camera. The retractable 50MP primary camera also offers a real physical f1.6 to f4.0 aperture for real bokeh shots, and Huawei claims that the mechanism has been tested and it's going to endure over 300,000 retracting cycles. Now I've tested it with dirt, with water, and the mechanism seems to be really robust and durable. Now I was worried first, to be honest, because moving parts can always be a problem, but it is really working reliable and keeps the camera smaller. Also, if you block the camera, if you hammer it, there's no problem of jamming, and that's really impressive engineering. Now the back looks amazing with the camera module and also comes with scratch resistant vegan leather and a really beautiful design. There is a dual SIM slot, but there is no slot for memory expansion, and it features also an in-display fingerprint sensor and a very fast face unlock. Now EMUI 14.2 is the phone's operating system. It includes new interactive and magazine themes, new and improved features for the Siri assistant, better security, better health app and support also for the Arc engine, as I will demonstrate you later. Now you may heard in the past that Huawei smartphones come without Google services, but you can get micro G services from the app gallery, and with that and the Aurora store you can use all the Google apps native. That means you don't need any sandbox workarounds like Gbox anymore. Even though there are already plenty of apps in the app gallery, you won't find Google apps there obviously. But the Aurora store that can be found in the Huawei app gallery gets you a Play Store-like experience without even the need of a Google account or even any email. And you can then install and update all the Google apps and also all the other apps. I also use now Gmail, Google Maps, YouTube and everything native on the phone without Sandbox. The only thing that didn't work for me was Google Pay, obviously, but for the rest and some minor apps like Pokemon Go, everything works like on a fully fledged Android smartphone. And that's a big step back to the old days of glory like the P30 series. There's no need to worry about Google anymore. But let's talk about where this smartphone is the absolute king or queen, and this is the camera. The main shooter has a variable aperture, as I've mentioned before, and features a 22.5mm focal length. Now Huawei introduced a new XD motion engine to help handle fast moving objects, and I've tried it with a moving fan, and that fan was running at 800 RPMs, and this snapshot feature is really insane. With that high RPM rotation, it managed to get a still picture where you could even read the text on it. So this feature is absolutely mind-blowing for moving objects, or even if you are yourself moving. Now, the telephoto 50 megapixel camera offers a hybrid lossless zoom up to 10x. This camera also doubles as a macro shooter, allowing you to get as close as 5 centimeters to your subject, which is like 35x super macro mode. The ultra wide shooter has a 40 megapixel sensor and 30mm equivalent focal length, and it offers autofocus and is also very capable for macro photography. The selfie camera uses a 30 megapixel sensor coupled with an 18mm f2.4 lens, and it supports autofocus, and there's 3 crop modes here, just like on other Huawei smartphones. The variable aperture feature is a huge benefit for the camera. It allows you to control the depth of field and also the light intake that gets through naturally. So you can get some real bokeh shots, you can play around with the pro mode in low light scenarios, and you don't get this fake digital bokeh like on most phones. So for people who are into photography or professional photography, that's actually a big deal. The primary camera delivers extremely good pictures. The detail is insane, the sharpening is gentle, there is no noise, and the white balance is spot on, resulting in accurate color with realistic look. The same also goes for the other 2 cameras, and here it's really great to see that Huawei is consistent even between the camera modules. Low light shots from the main camera are really excellent. They have plenty of detail, no noise, and maybe just a lot noise reduction, so they have a bit of a shiny look, but they look fabulous, and all this without a tripod. The Pura 70 Ultra is not only a great camera smartphone, but also a performer for video creation. It captures up to 4K at 60 FPS on all of its cameras with stabilization, and here are also some sample videos for you so you can see the quality, and let me know guys what you think about it down below in the comments.
Hey guys, so this is just a quick front-facing camera test here from the beach in Poland, and look at this camera performance directly against the sunlight. You can see my face, exposure on top. Now listen also to the sound quality. The ocean is quite noisy, so from what I can see right now, the front-facing camera looks really amazing, especially in the wide angle. There's also 0.8 and there is 1x, but the wide one, oh my god guys, this is looking gorgeous. So guys, quick camera test here, video performance in 4K 60 on the beach in Poland. Sundown, sun here, and as you can see, it is looking pretty awesome, this camera. I mean, we have perfect lighting conditions, but what I see on the screen right now, we can also try to zoom. There are some seagulls. Let's go to 4x, 10x. Now this is the 10x zoom in video mode. So in 4K 60 you cannot go over the 10x video zoom, but it is looking pretty neat. So guys, here's now a quick front-facing camera recording test in full HD, and what is really amazing is how wide this camera is. So I can just hold it one arm length away from my body, and then wide, it is wide enough to fit even a second person to have a conversation. Now this is in 0.8x, and this here is very close in 1x, but the wide mode is really nice. Here you can see the whole pond here directly in the picture, just one arm length away. So for recording vlogs or something like this, seems to be really good. And this right now in 60 FPS. I would recommend anyway to record in 60 FPS as the footage is just way smoother. So guys, this is now a quick 1080p 60 frames recording test. We are right now back home. And just check this out. Now this is in 1x, and yeah, in wide x it seems to be not that detailed, but anyway, here in 1x you can see, for instance, all the details here of the plants, at least on the screen right now. Let's try a little bit the zoom. So this is in 4x and this is here in 10x. So the zoom seems to be also quite fantastic. All the detail here from the roof, well preserved. And here in wide mode you have a lot of room. So let me know what you think about the image quality, video quality, and write it down below in the comments.
So as you can see, it really deserves the #1 spot on DXOMARK. So the Pura 70 Ultra is a true camera flagship. But now guys, let's dive a bit deeper into the phone and let me show you all of the features.
Well guys, it's now time for a hands-on with the HUAWEI Pura 70 Ultra to give you a closer look at the smartphone. Now what we have right over here is the green version. There are actually 3 versions, there's green, brown and black. Now the smartphone itself, it's beautifully crafted. Of course, this here is just a cover that was included that matches also the design of the phone. Now, it is a bit on the heavy side with 226 grams, but it also features a massive 5200 mAh battery. Now, the back here, this looks like leather, but this is actually vegan leather. It's also very scratch resistant, so you can scratch over it here with your fingernail. You won't see any scratches, which you would see on traditional or real leather. So it doesn't really age, I guess, and the feeling, the haptics, it is really nice. Here we have the camera module, so it's quite big. It stands a bit out, as you can see. Also, if you're using the official cover, it still stands out a bit. So if that bothers you, maybe you should look after an aftermarket cover that is maybe a little bit higher so it lays flat. But for me, honestly, it is perfect like this. And also the camera, the lenses, it's very scratch resistant. So I tried scratching it with a key. It doesn't really scratch, so you don't need to be worried if it's on your table that you're scratching something. Now let's have a closer look around the smartphone. So here you can see beautiful frame here. That's kind of in silver chrome. Then here we have the power button with the red line, so some little accents. Here, volume rocker. And the glass is actually curved a little bit. It also has crystal armor Kunlun glass. Now I still have the factory screen protector on the device, but I will remove it for you because we can also do a little scratch test to demonstrate how scratch resistant it is, because I'm not really scared because Kunlun glass is actually some really durable glass. And there we go guys, here are some sharp tweezers, and if I try to scratch over it, I cannot really scratch it. So you don't hear anything scratching, you don't see anything scratching. Now of course if you go to the frame, well yes, you will get some scratch. Is that a scratch? No, it's actually just some dirt. So you see it's really scratch resistant. And I dropped the phone now 2 times, once on concrete, once in the earth, but nothing on the phone. Even on the concrete I was really scared because it made a kind of loud noise, but really nothing. There was just a little bump here on the cover somewhere, right over here where I dropped it. So I hope you can see that guys. And it fell on the display and nothing happened. So Kunlun glass, especially the new one, is 300% more drop or scratch resistant, and it is really durable. So that glass, absolutely amazing. I would still recommend to use a screen protector anyways, but you don't need to because it is very well protected right from the factory. Now the display, what you're looking at is 6.8 inches. As I've said, on the sides it's slightly curved to give you a better feel when you grab the phone, so it feels actually quite nice without any sharp corners. Now it has a resolution of 2844 x 1260 pixels, 1 to 120 Hz refresh rate, 1440 Hz PWM dimming, and supports of course HDR. It's a very bright screen as well. I think in some tests it went over 1500 nits, so also for watching something outdoors in direct sunlight, absolutely no problem. Huawei always uses great displays in their flagship smartphones, and the Pura 70 Ultra is really no exception. At the bottom here there's a Type-C port to charge it, a dual SIM slot, and here also the speaker that acts with the top speaker also as a stereo pair. There's an in-display fingerprint scanner that is here and is really fast, just like you've seen in the video before, but also the face recognition. Now I've turned it on. So let's try it. As you can see, it's unlocked already. So I just look at it quickly and it is really fast. But also if it doesn't have a Face ID like any competitor, it uses the front-facing camera with secure algorithms. So it's also really secure and very fast. So you have those 2 biometrics in order to unlock your phone, and both of them work really reliable and fast. Now let's talk a little bit about that camera module or camera bump as some of them call it. Now as you can see, it says here XMage, so this is Huawei's in-house imaging technology, and there's no cooperation with Leica anymore, but even though there's no cooperation with Leica, Huawei has all the knowledge and how to, so they even made it again to the #1 in DX0 Mark by far. And you can see the 3 cameras right over here. The main camera is the biggest one, of course. It's really huge, and it also has a 1-inch sensor with a mechanical aperture of 1.6 to f4.0. And it also has optical image stabilization, and it's a 50 megapixel sensor as far as I know. And it's called the ultra lighting main camera. Then this one here is the ultra wide angle camera, is 40 megapixels f2.2 fixed. And here we have a 50 megapixel ultralighting macro telephoto camera with a fixed f2.1 aperture and also optical image stabilization. Now there's also something special about the main camera, and that is that it can slide out. So if you open up the camera application, you just have to look closer. As you can see, it comes out like 2 millimeters. During that, it makes a sound that reminds me of older digital cameras, you know, when the zoom lens, you know, when you try to zoom in, you have this mechanical sound with a lens moving, and the same is here. And here you have a mechanical aperture which you can adjust from 1.6 to f4.0. And this is really a groundbreaking feature when it comes to photography. Also, I was a little bit worried now, how stable is this mechanism? What if it breaks? But as you can see, I can keep my finger on there. Then you will get a camera error. I tried, you know, hitting it. I tried making it really dirty. I tried it underwater, and this thing just works. So of course, mechanical moving parts are always something that can break, but Huawei says, I think they rated it to 300,000 times opening and closing the camera, which is, even if you use it every day, quite a lot, and probably more than the smartphone will actually be used. So overall, I think absolutely groundbreaking camera technology, and also the design absolutely stunning. Other things you can find inside of the box is a 100-watt Huawei supercharger. Like on previous Huawei smartphones, it's a dual USB outlet port. So you have here USB-A, for instance, to charge accessories like FreeBuds. And here you have the Type-C port together with the Huawei charging cable. You can charge the Pura 70 Ultra with up to 100 watts wired or 80 watts when it comes to wireless charging. You just need to make sure you're using a 100-watt rated cable. If you're using some cheap cables over USB-C, it will actually downgrade and probably not charge with the full 100 watts. Alright, now that's regarding the design, the look and feel, and the outside features. And now I would say let's just jump right into EMUI and let's check out some of the features in the operating system. Well guys, now let's have a closer look at the user interface. And with EMUI 14.2, Huawei introduced a lot of new cool features. Also plenty of new emojis, and the coolest thing are actually the new interactive themes. Now if you check this out right over here, home screen and style, and you go to themes here, then you have interactive themes that also work, for instance, with eye tracking. What do I mean with this? So let's check it out. If we're here at the lock screen, you can see if you just tap here and you look at the ball, so I need to really look at the ball, then you see the ball is moving. But this only works if I look at the ball where it currently is. So you need to track the ball with your eyes, and it actually plays tennis. If I stop looking at it, like right now, it stops. So it's a pretty fun game for in between. Now, of course, it comes with different other themes as well. Also in the future there will be more themes. So I think this is a really cool feature to customize your phone. Also here in the Huawei Themes application, you can download hundreds of thousands themes. There are free themes, there are paid themes, and you can change how your phone looks really in simply one tap. So you just tap, you go to apply, and you have a total different look on your phone. Not only the background, not only the lock screen, also whole custom icon packs to transform your phone to a complete new phone. So if you ever get bored of it, with one single tap, you can change to a new theme. Now, other than that and a few new stickers and patterns, not so much has been changed, but EMUI was actually already great to begin with. And of course, it got smoother, as you can see. The multitasking works really well. There's a new RAM management, so especially for multitasking with big apps or games, it is now smooth as butter. The whole animations, as you can see, to switch between the apps, it is really blazing fast. Oh, and actually another thing I wanted to show you is the AI assistant. Now I set it right now to German because I actually speak German, but it is working now really, really well. Open the camera. Oh, it actually works also in English. So as you can see, you can just press the button, tell your phone what you should do, like open the camera, scan a QR code, whatever, and it will open up the application to do it. This is really fast, and in the past I haven't used this feature a lot, but right now I accidentally just tried it and it worked really well, and then I found out, hey, this is working really good. So just something to mention. But first of all, let's scroll down here from the top. So here we have music player widget, all those quick shortcuts to go to Wi-Fi, to go to Bluetooth, to adjust the brightness, to activate the torch, screen the rotation lock. But if you open up here, this box, there's actually much more inside. You can quickly activate or deactivate Huawei Share, screenshots, screen recorder, which I use a lot for filming my videos, wireless protection, personal hotspot, so also a built-in native dark mode. So you can have the dark mode also based on the time, you can set schedules, and the UI has been polished really to the finest. I don't really see the need of any new features because there's almost everything in there I use and I want to have in the user interface. Now, first of all, let's talk about mobile network just very quick. There is no eSIM support because some people ask me, hey, can you add eSIMs on the Pura 70 Ultra? The answer is no. It's a dual SIM phone. You can add 2 SIM cards, but so far there is no eSIM support here. Then, of course, you have Wi-Fi, you have Bluetooth, you have Huawei's super device, so you can have one device to control other devices, phone, tablet, earbuds, etc., etc. Quickly, seamlessly switch between them. And on the more connections, you have Huawei Share. It also supports Nearlink, something interesting to mention. So you could possibly also use the Nearlink pencil on the phone, which I'm not really sure if it makes sense, but you could. There's also NFC. You can do payments, but Google Pay obviously is not working, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Home screen and style, as I've said, very customizable with different themes, always on display. Online content can be switched on or off, so plenty of things on how to customize it to your own needs. Regarding biometrics and password, we have fingerprint ID, we have a very fast and secure face unlock, and also we have, of course, screen lock or screen pin or pattern. And also the smart unlock. If you have, for instance, a Huawei wearable, you can use it to unlock your phone, of course, as well. Now, regarding battery life, well, of course, I could talk about numbers, screen on time, whatever, but it really depends on how you use the phone. I, for instance, film a lot, and even on heavy days, filming a lot, phone lasts a whole day. That's important for me. Battery life, I would say, for average users that don't use recording all the time, you can expect around 2 days on average use. If you're a heavy user, of course, recharge every day, but the recharging with the 100-watt charger from Huawei is really, really fast. So in here we have the security center. So in here we have the security center, and you can see here all the permissions, which app is using what permissions, how often are the permissions used in the last days. And here really you get an overview over everything that is tracking you. And this is really great because you're in full control. Now the smartphone doesn't come with Google anyway, so you have less tracking than on a Google crowded smartphone, let's say it like this. But here you even have a bigger overview on what is actually using some of your permissions. What are they used for? You even get suggestions, hey, this service was using your location quite a lot because micro G services, I was using Google Maps a lot, okay? So here you can see, okay, maybe this application, why does it need those permissions? So it really gives you a better understanding of what the apps are doing in the background, and this is something that is kind of new and is really interesting to see. And if you're about privacy, about permissions, if you really care about that, this is actually a great tool to see and understand what some apps are doing in the background, and also if you want to block it. Then other than that, Huawei Assistant, so that we have seen before already. And let's talk a little bit about system and updates. Now Huawei supplies also frequent software updates for their EMUI, and as you can see, there's now a new one. I haven't updated yet, but you can see always the changelog and what has changed. So that's it basically regarding the basics, settings and features. And now let's talk a little bit about some other things. It doesn't have the full Google services preloaded like if you're buying any other Android smartphone that comes with Google services, but it has those microservices in there. Those microservices are basically offering the apps that rely on Google services to use at least the Google APIs to connect to your account, etc., what is needed to run them. And this is a huge benefit because now you can use all the Google apps native. So as you can see, I can use YouTube, I'm logged in. I can use Google Maps, I am logged in. I can use Gmail because I'm also logged in here, all with the same account because it's connected with the micro-G services where you log in once under accounts, and then all the apps that rely on Google services will work, except of some exceptions, like for instance Pokemon Go. Of course, Google Pay is also not working because it's a very secure app that needs more than those micro-G services. But we'll talk about the payments just a little bit later. But with those micro-G services, you can finally install all those Google applications and use them. And this is so great because now also some other apps that use, for instance, Google to log in or send something, they work. So games work, Google native apps work, even Google Photos is working. And this is really great because you don't need to rely on Gbox, which is Sandbox basically. So I still have it installed, but I don't use it. You see, there's nothing of this is installed. This is all now running native on the smartphone. There is no need anymore for workarounds, whatever, because it is integrated in the smartphone, which is absolutely great. And it's almost like having a smartphone completely with Google. But how do you get the Google apps? Well, in the Huawei app gallery, obviously we don't have any Google apps, but Huawei has in the app gallery the so-called Aurora store. Yeah, it is this one. So let me check here. Get this app from the Aurora store, and here you can download the Aurora store. And the Aurora store is basically like a Google Play Store, but without the need to even log in. Of course, you can log in with an account if you want to, but you don't need to. I'm using an anonymous account, so that is absolutely great. I'm out of this Google, let's call it ecosystem. I have a store that is not bound to a bunch of ads. I explored so many new features without having Google in my back, you know, shooting me with apps and targeted ads. So I have just a store that I can use to search for apps I'm using, to explore new things just based on my recent activity, but without any tracking. Now you have all those apps in there you have in the Google Play Store. For instance, if I search here for Netflix, you see it's in there, all the games are in there. And this is absolutely great. It was such a great experience to use it over the last week because you're not using Google anymore. You have a store that is basically kind of the same like the Google Play Store. It even updates also all your applications. You see, I have 7 updates pending also for all those Google apps. Just with one tap then you can start the updates for all those applications, and they're natively installed on your phone. So the combination of the Aurora store, which you can get in the Huawei app gallery, and the micro-G services makes this phone like nothing ever changed with Huawei since the P30. And this is so great. So with the Pura 70 Ultra, finally Google Apps are back, and you can use it even with the login without any sandbox or workaround. So this is probably the best thing ever happened since the ban, and to be honest, I really love it. Now it's a lot of fun using it because I can log in with my business account, I can upload YouTube videos to YouTube Shorts, and finally I don't need any workaround. However, if you're not using Google at all, if that doesn't even bother you, you have the Huawei app gallery, you have of course the Aurora store, which you can use without any login, without any targeted ads, and you can of course install APKs and use Petal Search to search for applications and download from any store you want to. So there's no limits. All the other APK stores are also working, but what I can really recommend as for Huawei smartphones right now is when you have the micro G services, use the Aurora store, and Gbox you can uninstall for now because you don't really need it. So as you can see, YouTube is working completely normal. You can also adjust the quality to anything you want to, even 4K is working, HDR is working. You can zoom in to fill the display. And also it's a stereo pair of speakers, so it's using the earpiece and the bottom speaker for stereo sound. Speakers are very clear, they don't rattle at maximum volume. There is bass, the speakers actually sound good, so there is nothing to worry about audio quality or video quality, as also for the display looks really stunning. So for watching anything like Netflix or YouTube, yeah, this phone is working really well for it. Now let's talk a little bit about the performance. So well, in some benchmarks I saw people complaining that the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra is behind some other flagships, but honestly in daily life performance, so you're gaming maybe a little bit of Fortnite, maybe you're playing PUBG or something, and what do you want? You want a smooth gaming experience, and obviously on the Pura 70 Ultra, as you can see right now, you have the smooth gaming experience also combined with a great 120Hz screen. And also they implemented something called the ARC engine. This is basically a dynamic resource management which allows you to even have multiple games open at the same time and switch seamlessly between them. Of course, here I just timed out from this game because it's basically an online game, this Roblox. But if I switch back here to Fortnite, as you can see, you can seamlessly switch here between the games. And if I go back here to Roblox, now as you can see, I'm into the other game and it works really smooth with 2 games open at the same time. So the benchmarks basically, of course, it's numbers, it's raw performance, but also a lot of other things count in, like software optimization. And with Huawei, this is actually working really good. Even though that is not the use case, no one has 2 demanding games open at the same time. It's more likely like you have multiple apps open for instance, some video editing in the back, then you're maybe watching something, writing some script. At least that's what I'm using for work, maybe a game in the background, whatever, and you don't want that the phone hangs up. And the phone is really smooth even if you have demanding apps open in the background. So that's regarding the performance. Of course, also other games, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, they're all working really well on the phone. There are several of gameplay already on YouTube, so feel free to check it out. But if you are just looking at the raw performance, for me personally, it doesn't really matter that much. The phone needs to work seamlessly, smooth, switch between the apps, and with the ARC engine, this is also working really well on the Pura 70 Ultra series. Now, when we're talking about multitasking already, of course, you can also have apps in the floating window, kind of split screen like, draw over other apps, and this is also working really smooth. So as you can see, I can watch here a video while, for instance, I'm doing something else. So this is something that matters for me. Smooth performance in the user interface, and if you're starting one really heavy application with some background applications, that it runs smooth. And the software optimization and EMUI, this is working really fantastic. As you can see, the video runs here without any stuttering, and I can even, you know, completely scale it without any lags, and the whole user experience is absolutely smooth. So raw performance numbers don't really matter that much. Also the software needs to be great, and Huawei is doing an amazingly good job with EMUI 14.2. Now, last but not least, let's talk a little bit about the camera application. So, well, we have night mode, as you have seen before. We have this snapshot feature, which you have also seen before with the fan, so of extremely fast moving objects. With that, you can get a clear shot. There's a portrait mode, also here with different presets like original, vivid or bright. Then there is the normal photo mode. The photo mode also has the AI master, which you can turn on or off. Also switch here between original, vivid, bright, or even monochrome. You have here plenty of settings here in the camera application. You can choose the video resolution between 4K and Full HD or 720p. Here up to 60 FPS on the main and rear camera. Also the wide angle works in 4K 60, so basically all the cameras record with the same video quality. That's really important for me. You also have high efficiency video format if you want to turn this on, but this can also cause some incompatibility with some video editing applications, so I usually tend to keep it off. And well, plenty of other features which I don't want to go through in detail. Something I want to mention though is the Pro mode. Here you can control the aperture like you've seen before between f1.6 and f4, so real aperture control, not some fake bokeh digital thing, like a real mechanical aperture. And here also you can activate raw pictures. Really important, especially if you're a pro photographer and you want to get the most out of your picture. Other than that, you have control over everything from the camera. And here under more, there's slow motion, there's light paintings, you know, all those things we've seen before. But there is one feature that is worth mentioning, and this is the multicam feature, especially for creators like me. This feature is mind-blowing. This allows you to connect to other smartphones, to other Huawei smartphones, and use them as a secondary camera. So if you're shooting an interview, you could just place multiple smartphones and get different camera angles. This is absolutely amazing. Now, of course, the dual view is nice where you use two cameras, for instance, to get two perspectives. But having the ability to use multiple smartphones as cameras to record one video is an absolutely mind-blowing feature no one ever has talked about in a review. I just found this when I was going through the camera application. So overall, you have such great features if you're looking more in-depth into EMUI 14.2. So make sure to check it out because there are really plenty of cool features hidden in this operating system. Alrighty guys, so now here at the end of this review, and just quickly let's sum it up. It's the best camera in a smartphone. Also DXOMARK says that. Of course you can think about DXOMARK whatever you want, but their tests are actually quite good, and they also say that the Pura 70 Ultra is right now the best camera smartphone, and looking at the results, it truly is. EMUI 14.2, plenty of improvements, especially also micro G services. It just makes this phone like a Huawei P30. It feels almost the same except of the lack of, for instance, Google Pay or maybe Pokemon Go. I don't even play that game. But actually all of the things I'm using, they are working, and this is really great. Then you get fast charging, you get great battery life, you get superb premium build quality. So overall, it is a fantastic smartphone. Of course, it comes with a price tag that is maybe a little bit high, but also you're getting the best camera in a smartphone right now and a very well-crafted, beautiful and performance-orientated smartphone. But guys, overall, I'm pretty surprised. I didn't expect the Pura 70 Ultra to be that good. I thought, okay, well, it's another Huawei smartphone. Probably nothing changed, but no, a lot of things have changed, and it is a fantastic phone. So make sure to check it out. If you're looking for a new smartphone, don't tick it off the list because you're missing out on something great. Alrighty guys, so big thanks for watching. I'm Steven from Tech Magnet and I'm signing out. See you again soon.